because I'm in Indonesia, so I do use a VPN for certain things when I need to access government services back home and things like that. So apologies for that. I just needed to start the stream again to make sure it's connected to the right ingest point. Because even if I just disconnected from the VPN, it's probably still trying to talk to the Canadian ingest point on the stream. Anyways, we should be back. I'm glad I caught that in the first couple of minutes of the stream, and hopefully that doesn't mess up the VOD too much. Anyways, so there's this other new concept of the the light tool that I've been talking to my community about, asking what that might look like. What do they want out of it? And if you just give me 1 second, just to get that out to the community, that I am starting the stream. And I'm just gonna do some promos here. Back with you 1 second. I always forget to do this, I apologize. I should do it during the starting soon window, but I'm new to this. I'm just getting the hang of streaming and doing development and trying to program in front of people. All these fun things. So thank you for bearing with me. Okay, so just a bit of promo out. We'll see how that goes today. So the concept of a light tool that instead of these billboards being randomly generated every time, they are painted on by the player. So I've asked the community what their ideas would be. And I'm going to look at that today and reconcile that with some of the design stuff I've been thinking about. I also need to think about how these tiles progress. So right now there is sort of a system where as you make them taller, it swaps in new buildings, which is creating a lot of questions around, are those buildings connected in some way? Like, are they the same building but bigger, or is it a more thematic, like business, like little shops to business tower to like mega corporation tower? I don't know. These are questions that are coming up that I need to address from a design standpoint. So I'm kind of hoping that today is a little bit more of a design and art day. We might be collecting some art reference and writing up some design specs just to sort of clarify my vision of this. It's Code. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. And also, sorry, there was a follow right before I started streaming from Ansarian. Good to see you as well. Thank you for the follow. So I'm hoping to do a bit of design work today. But first, something I just noticed. Of course, right as I said, I'm not going to do any programming. I'm noticing that this billboard is changing every time it spawns, which is not something I want. The idea should be when you build a tile up and be like, oh, that's cool, I like that billboard there, and then you drag up more, it's like, oh no, I liked it back with the billboard. It should go back to that state it was originally in. Like, all of the tile art should be generated and consistent when you place the tile. So that's something we're going to look at now and just figure out why it's doing this little thing. So let's dive in and look at some code. And if it's your first time on the channel, I am working on a game called Dystopika. It's a chill cyberpunk city builder toy. Very light on gameplay. It's very inspired by games like Townscaper, Islanders, Dorf Romantic. It's just intended to be a very minimal sort of relaxing city space for those of us who enjoy like dark ambient music, who love Blade Runner, and sort of find those spaces to be sort of meditative. So it's more of a creative toy, but I'm hoping that long term it's going to have some FUD mod support possibilities. We're working on it for about a year now, but only a few months, like really focused full time. It's come out of my travels. So I live in Indonesia now. I've been living and working around Southeast Asia for the past year, and this just was very inspired by the time I spent in Hanoi and in Osaka. Just in like I was in the old quarter in Hanoi for about a month, which is a very like intense urban environment. That was my first taste of Asia. And Osaka, which is just a very like big sprawling, like not quite Tokyo, but still massive urban atmosphere. So like I just all of that kind of fed into doing this kind of game and just sort of creating futuristic versions of those landscapes. They were very like relaxing meditative spaces for me in a weird busy kind of way. So that's the game. It's on Steam for wishlisting, and I'm hoping for a demo for Steam Next Fest, which is coming up in February. So that's my big push right now. This is all stuff that I'm doing in service to getting a really compelling demo out for the game, and then hopefully a release shortly thereafter. So let's look at this bug. So if you're around yesterday, the construction of a tile looks like this. Let's go into my tiles here. So elevation 2, which was my test tile. So you can see like there's all of the antenna, the helipad. These were just like my test possibilities. The billboard that doesn't have an ad yet. So it's just doing shader error pink. And they're all hooked up to this array where I can set like what the probability weighting is for that object. I can set a global probability. So this will basically all of the objects, approximately 25% of the objects. There is also some randomness there, and there's an ad hookup. So this would basically be all the ads that also get rolled with the same sort of probabilistic system. But something is going wrong here. So the tile asset initializes all these decorations when it is initialized. So it's doing initialize ads. We do know all the decorations are consistent, so they are not re-rolling. But for some reason, the ads are re-rolling every time. So I'm just going to start off by putting, I just want to debug log, because I think this initializing ads should only happen once. And if it's happening more than that, then something is going terribly wrong. Like, then it might be calling this initialize more, and I can sort of trace it back to see where that's happening. The reason it's probably not being consistent, so you can see like it gets a seed passed through. So when a tile is generated, it's given an ID, like a unique ID, and that unique ID acts as the RNG seed. So anytime the randomness is rerun again with the same seed, you get the same configuration of the tile, which makes it consistent, makes it so when you reload a save, it looks the same, all that fun stuff. And I think the reason why the other decorations, the antennas, are consistent is because they don't have something that the ads has, which is when the ad pulls down from the ads service, which is over here, from the theme service, get random ad by size. It's not a pure RNG, like there's sort of an RNG pool, as it were. Like, the problem with randomness is it doesn't always feel random, and you can get all kinds of, like, the human brain is very weird about randomness, and it wants things to feel random, but feeling random isn't true random. So like you'll get, like, if you get a situation where like, oh, the same ad spawns on 3 tiles in a row, like that doesn't feel, that is true random under the hood, but it's, for the user, doesn't feel like true random. So I'm doing some tricks here where it has a pool of all the possible ads, and it gives them out randomly one by one until the list is empty, and then it replenishes it. That way the ads don't appear twice. But there is also a second RNG element of, there's a 50% chance that it replenishes the pool early, so that you do still kind of get like 1 or 2 ads that are the same nearby or in the vicinity when you're creating. Anyways, RNG is such a weird feel-based thing. Anyway, so I think what's happening is, because the list is different, it's not affected by the seed as much. So I think just what needs to happen is, I think I just need to cache, when you initialize the tile, what its ads are. I think that's it. So I'm gonna see where initialize is happening. Because it should only be happening once. Actually, I'm gonna add one more to this random add handler. Debug log. Add initialize. And that should continue to do the, or that will, yeah, that'll get the random add. So I only want this to happen once. And it may seem like an annoying bug, but this stuff is like vital, like just a minor annoying bug. But this stuff is like vitally important to like all of the like loading and saving working on. Like if I don't try to catch it now and just make this whole system functionally complete, it'll be a pain in the ass later when I have to fix it. And it's been months since I did this stuff, and I forget where that fix was supposed to be. Okay, so let's... I don't need to save anything here. Let's get rid of this random antenna that I put in for some reason. So... initializing adds. Okay, so 1... Oh, I named these logs very poorly. But it is doing that initialize every time. Which I guess makes sense because it's respawning that object every time. So this actually becomes an interesting problem. Because I can't cache it because the game object is being destroyed. So I would have to like cache it in the file container. This is an interesting problem actually. Because I can... Yeah, because the state of the files of the theme service, it changes regardless of what's going on. So I can't... Like, the seed isn't going to be an adequate way to set the random system, the RNG state, because, I don't know, it's sort of like just two RNG states running in parallel. Like, you're not guaranteed to get the same file, or to get the same list item back every time. So, what are some ways I could tackle this? I could, when the tile container is rolled, because the tile container is consistent, it spawns different visuals inside of it, but maybe it should... No. Or maybe it should just make its own collection of ads. Like, it should just ask for... Actually, hang on. Maybe that's the solution. Maybe I'm trying to do this too high up. So, instead of this being something I do from the service... I get this from, like, I just take the list into the tile container, into like the tile container's RNG state. It's still going to serve things out in a random order, but consistently. But it sort of depends which states you move through and when. This is tough. Yeah, I guess the problem is the list, because this actually ended up being a bit of a complex problem. I guess it just means maybe I need to get rid of the list being replenished, or I just do something dumb like the tile just generates a list of 16 ads when it is first generated, so that it never hits a state where it resets. Oh. Also, just another shout out to its code for that follow, because I think that's actually my 50th follow for affiliate status. So I think I just checked another Twitch affiliate box, which is awesome. So thank you so much for that. I think my official follower count is like 51, but for some reason the creator dashboard always says it's like that -1. So I think that 51st follow was my 50th follow, which is exciting. Just trying to get myself into Twitch affiliate status. Get that stamp of approval from the Twitch overlords. So I'm not sure how I want to do this, because the problem is, like, when the Twitch container spawns, it's completely ignorant of what's in any of the visual assets. So maybe... Nope, that won't work. I mean, I guess I could just make it serve up a random ad. Yeah, because like if I went back and... Yeah, because the tile asset gets initialized with the seed. So I think like if I went back and just like comment that out for now. Yeah, I need to replenish it still. But if I did this instead, I think this bug would just go away. But I do like how that massages the RNG a little bit. So place a tile, get the red one, move up. Oh, nope, that's still... Oh, right, because that's... Right, because it's just subtracting from the list. So if I took this out as well. So it's not doing any of the list stuff. It's just pulling from the list. Random. This should be the same every time. Oh, what was that? Something's aren't. Okay. I'm not doing this get random right. Like if it's insert that one, but like let's just say if no, that should work. That's like 0 and 1 inclusive, or inclusive, exclusive. Yeah. Or wait, is it because Hang on, I think it's just because it's never actually initializing the list. Yeah. I was relying on that if the list is empty to initialize it. Okay, so I think this. Okay, where's my add? Initialized, where is it? There it is. Oh, right, it needs the minimum elevation. So this should be the red one every time. Being harassed by a fly. Okay, so I think fuck off, fly. I could have the tile asset just make a list, its own internal list, and then shuffle them out in random order. That runs the danger of creating annoying RNG things that I'm trying to avoid of doing this way. It would just have to make an arbitrary list. In which case, maybe it just makes sense for the tile to do. Okay. I think it's just gonna be... I think I'm just gonna make the tile container do this now. So... it's making an... Okay, well, I understand this problem. To do moves the random add logic into the tile container. Into the tile container. Actually, that kind of makes sense too, because even if it's just taking a limited, like, hey, give me a list of 4 ads, it would create some internal repetition on the tile, but that might actually make sense. Like, I think it's okay for like 1 or 2 similar ads to appear on the same building. Okay, so there would be, where's the tile container handler? Maybe I should make this its own thing. Like, this should be the tile ad, no, tile ad service. Does the tile asset get the container? It's the seed. Where does initialize get called from? Dynamic asset. I mean, I could just as easily put tile container handler. I should be making this tile private tile container handler tile. This dot tile equals tile, and this is going to freak out now, but this needs to pass the container. So, which actually means I don't even need to pass the seed, which is cool. So I can actually go back to, what was that? Asset? Where'd it go? It doesn't even need a seed anymore. This would just be file dot data get code. And voila, that's the same, but I get more stuff now. So the tile container handler, I mean, I guess if I'm following the pattern that I've used, this should be using a tile, I don't know, advertisement, ad service or something. Tile ad service. This is a mono behavior with tile initializable. Private tile container handler tile. This dot tile container. And I think we'll probably want to serialize field private add pool size. This is also going to need the how is the random ad handler? Yeah, the grid theme service is just a singleton. So we can do it like that. Inject. So I think what we want to do is private. What was the... Oh, but it needs to... Right, it's not just straight up materials, it needs different sizes. And this doesn't yet know what sizes are needed because this has no awareness of the actual like visual asset. It almost is like this should make a copy of the list. Okay. List. What do I call that? Add material size pair. Add list. Just adds. So when this instantiates, we're going to just go to new service. Let's change this to public list, add material, get add list copy. It's going to return add pool. List. That should make a copy of it, right? Okay, so adds equals theme service, get add list copy. And this, I think, becomes the internal, like, get a list, but there's something about this I do not like, do not enjoy. Like, I just wish this could be nicely contained here. Maybe it still can be. Hang on. Yeah, maybe this is just a flawed way of doing it. Like, it's fine to do this other ways. Like, I think when it's sort of a self-contained system like this, but when it's like a persistent system across multiple tiles, when you want to control the RNG like this, I think maybe it's better to hang on, have I done, where's my utilities? Void extension. Where are my RNG extensions? Select from list, get random entry, select from list. I should rename some of these. But I think maybe what's a good way to shuffle an array? C# shuffle array. There we go. Shuffle. Unity engine. Wait, why is that taking? Should be this T. Wait, yeah, why does it need the RNG to come through? Oh, I got it. I gotcha. So I would much rather have the. I don't think it needs this. I think I just want to have the array, and I just want this to be Unity engine dot random dot next. Oh wait, does it not? Oh, does it want this to be system random? Why does it not like? Oh, non-static. So that's why it does need to be. That's why it does need to be passed in. Okay, so hang on. A Unity engine. Wait, I should do it over here. Unity engine random array shuffle. Yeah, just give me your. Wait, isn't that close to what I'm doing now? R equals random. Yeah, because if I'm initializing the Unity engine dot random with the state, wait string, okay, temp is not quite the same. Oh, maybe I can just do this. Let's do this instead. Array. Array.length. Array. Array T. This probably needs to be B. And oh wait, this isn't returning anything. E. List T. Actually, no. I want that. Sorry, list T. That's fine. But actually, I just want that to operate on the shuffling a list that is already made. Count. I think that does what I want. Okay, so let's go back to the grid theme service. Get add list, copy, get shuffled. But I really liked this way of doing it. I want it to be an audio util. I'm having a hard time deciding how I want to do this. If I just want to take the whole list. Do this. So, really annoying. Why is this? Why are my shuffles not showing? I'm just gonna rename mine, I think. Shuffle. Okay. Shuffle. Okay. Shuffle. Array. Or was it there the whole time? Yeah, okay, there we go. That shuffle array. So it's shaken up, and then I can do, yeah, let's just do that here. So let's get rid of this entirely. Get add list copy. Let's do Unity engine dot random dot init state container data dot id dot hash code. Okay. This we can do the same. So let's comment that. Let's make this if adds count. Let's do credit void. Replenish add list. Okay. Manifest to list. It's going to be replenish add list. Get the ads. Where the thing is the thing. We still want to remove it from add list. Okay. So now we need to go to this random add handler. So the initialize needs to pass through the, what does this need to pass through? It needs to pass through the grid theme service. No, it needs to pass through the tile add service. Don't really need that. Don't really need this. Just simplify that. Simplify that. Simplify that. Service. Okay. So now we need to go back to asset. Gets the tile container handler. On tile elevation chain, let's just do private tile add service adds this dot adds equals tile dot get component service. Not ideal, but I think it needs to do this right at the start. Just sure. And this is Unity Engine right? Yeah. Okay. But actually, I feel like I'm just creating the same problem again. I feel like I might just be creating the same problem again. Because this list is going to do all kinds of stuff. Like this list is going to potentially take 2 off the list for the first section and then 4 off the list for the second section. So it depends what order you're doing in. So if I suddenly like, if I restore a tile, it's going to be taking stuff off the list that shouldn't be. This has ended up being a very annoying problem. You can think of dumb, hacky ways to do it, but I'm trying to think what's going to be, what's going to play nice with the save system. So the tile asset could, like, there could be some sort of storage in the tile container, like just a dictionary where assets can like stash stuff to store, but I'm not crazy about that. Unless on the tile add service, it just gets a list. We don't do any of this stuff. It just serves up a random. Yeah. It serves up something random. So when it does a applies, it's going to get adds for each add and active add. We're doing the initialization. Initialize adds. Adds dot initialize. What am I doing? The adds. And adds gets I'll add service, it just gets a random run one. So the seed's been set. So I think this might do it. I'm not happy about it, but it's gonna do it. Okay. And actually, just for, because I'm getting annoyed at testing this elevation 2, let's just grab this hollow board. I should prefab, but anyways, this is still testing. It's on elevation 3 as well. Let's just to make sure it's doing this properly, even do 2 of them like that. Whatever, I'll come back to this. I need to add a button just to like get the ads and set this to 1. Minimum elevation we don't care about. We're going to spawn all the ads. Let's save this. And now we can just work at the highest elevation. No, we're not, because I need to add a tile container handler. This needs a tile add service. Add pool size. I didn't even end up using that. Yeah, I didn't end up using this. Hopefully. What are you not? Get random add by size to all add service. Why would you not? Hang on, did I not? There. I'll continue. Oh wait, I didn't save it. Index at a range because I'm not initializing a list somewhere. Where am I not initializing? No, not you. Add service. Candidates, get random. Punish list. I mean, I've lost the RNG feel, but maybe it'll just be fine. I think maybe I'm overthinking this problem. Okay. So we got 2 of the same. Okay. Same. Same. Different. Okay. This is the problem. It's not really the best RNG feel, but it's not terrible. Tile add service. Actually, what if we did ads.count equals 0 or random range 0, 1f is greater than 0.5 ads, like replenish ad list. So making that public. So maybe with the tile asset, or yeah, the tile asset, when it does this, it does an ads dot replenish ad list. See if that's the same. So I can still have that RNG feel within a single tile at least. But you're not like replenish ad list. Oh, is it trying to... Okay, whatever. You know what? It was working. It was working. I've already spent too much time on this problem. Replenish ad list, which means this is going to go away. Make sure that's still working. Silly, but it's alright. Alright, I'm going to be back in 2 seconds. Hello, I'm back. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is just plug in some more materials just to see how this evolves. So where am I doing that? I've got my resources, I've got... So actually I should, at this point now, go in and prefab this. So cockpits, adds this here, and let's change this to 1x2. And let's leave it at that. So let's save this. Yeah, a bit of work we'll do here, but need to go into tile. I'm gonna take these out for now. We're gonna put them back in and prefab. Actually, I'm just gonna add one more folder here for materials. So back to here, add do these guys. Again, this is just kind of rough. Sure. Okay. This is just testing things, trying this out. Okay, so they're good, but now I need to hook these up, and now I'm at that point where, okay, I want to go add something to this editor script. So this is the tile asset editor. File asset thought editor, cockpit, update position, get adds our tile add candidate if asset get components and children random add handler adds child.game object that dot add candidates equals adds to array. This is an add candidate. Hang on, does that not have a definition for game object? Oh, add handler. Just child. Okay. I think that should get me the editor button that I would like. I'm not gonna lie, people. I'm starting to feel a bit rough here, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it to a full 4-hour stream today. But I'll try to keep going. Okay, so get ads. There we go. No minimum elevations. Let's go. Flip back over here. And now let's go and do some materials. Let's just do like, fashion 5 or 6, I guess. Oh, the naming of these is all off. Yep. Rank 2. Oh. Two. I don't know what else we got. Which ones look really? This one looks good. Okay, so let's just start with 5, and let's add these to the manifest. So, fashion 5. There. Rank 2. Okay. Let's see how this feels. Why does it feel like the resolution of these got? Oh, it's because is the dynamic dot not working well? Okay, let's go fashion 5. Yeah, the dynamic dotting stuff seems to be working well. This might end up being a bit of shader work. I think I need to do some adjustments to the bloom. Like there's a bloom at distance control that isn't exposed right now. Goodness, emission. 2. Set remap. Multiply input distance camera position. Yep. Camera position remapped and multiply. Maybe this should be something else. What? Like this is just multiplying emission basically. So like if I was to change this from 0.3 to 5, save. Okay, so that's lesser fall off. So 4. But then it's going to have an area in here where it's like really high. So hang on, maybe this just needs to be a emissive fall off range as a float, and then I can bring this in here. Default being, let's say 2.3. And I can plug this into, right? Hang on. Change my mind. Emission fall off range. Is that going to be correct though? Yeah. Actually, no. Let's just range bar 3. Near. I'm going to default to 0.6. Okay. Save asset. Okay, so what we want to do now is, I think we just want to go through some of these materials and figure out what like a more realistic bar range would be, because if I turn, no, maybe not working how I anticipated. It's falling off even harder. Spider keyboard, or my laptop rather. I mean, maybe it's fine. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Maybe it looks fine. Look at fashion 4. Yeah, that one works the way I expect it to. So what the heck is going on? Drink 2, 5. This should be getting brighter. Okay. Then looking up close. Oh, now it's just getting too bright. Okay. This is not exactly what I wanted. So now I'm tempted to include this anymore. See if I do the reverse. If I bring this up, it'd be brighter out here. Actually, maybe that's the thing. Maybe I'm just thinking about it backwards. Need to turn the drink one up. Okay, so the ad system at least seems to still be rolling the right ads. Like, they're still consistently the same one when you bring it back up. So if I go elevation 3, actually, I want to check one thing. Is on this. Do I have like a shader or random? I thought I have just like a random shader helper. Like just when I want to shuffle one property. Handlers, helpers, custom, simple blinker, shape group. Maybe this is something I removed because I wanted to redo it, which is fine. Maybe I'll come back to that in a bit, but not right now. So what do I want to do? I want to go to... Oh yeah, I wanted to go to the tile. I just wanted to use the number of ads and make sure this is working properly still. Being harassed by flies today. It's not cool. Okay. Oops. I think like these positions might make more sense once they're a little like better defined. Or actually no. So this won't actually matter because this is like the next thing I'm working on today, which is the light tool. So there actually is no RNG for the selection of this. I mean, like, it's there if I need it. I think I need to turn down this materials bloom just a little bit. Like a little bit's nice, but that's a bit much. Why is the toolbar not spawning? It's weird. Oh yeah, I wanted to also just test the elevation. So go to elevation 3. I want to just look at these bottom ones. So 1.2. Okay, so just this whole. That's 1, 2. So we got, what do we got? 1, 2, 9, 1, 2, 4. Oh, that's why I didn't see. Okay, 1, 2. This one. This one. This one. Okay. So these I want these first 4. Just give them a minimum elevation of 1.5. Okay, save that. See here. Do they just not hit that elevator? No, it's there. They turn off. Okay. They're turning off and they're spawning the same one each time, which is good. What you want to see? Except I do wonder if these need to be entire group. Like, should individuals turn on and off? I gotta take care of these flies. I'll be back in a second. Okay, let's hope that helps. Open the window to air things out a bit from the spray. Okay. So we're getting close to actually building this new tool. But I think first I need to just commit things before I start this next section. Come on. Come on, Source Tree, wake up. Wake up! Okay, so let's stage everything. Except there's one thing I don't want to do, which is discard that. Finished. It's back in. Shit. Okay, so now we can get into some design stuff. So there's two design things I'm thinking about today. The first is tile progression. So right now, when you place a tile, you get a sort of ground floor building. And when you drag it up, it swaps in other prefabs. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what the design philosophy is going to be for some of that stuff. Like, should this be like, okay, apartment building, slightly bigger apartment building, really big apartment building? Like, what should the thematic connection be between these buildings? that's the first thing I want to think about. Well, actually, that'll be the second. I think the first thing I want to do is start thinking about the light tool. So instead of randomly generating these, I think it's just going to turn them all off to start. And there's going to be a light brush of some kind, some sort of like, yeah, like brush tool for painting light onto things. Maybe not that big, like maybe more like this big. Probably not this exact visual presentation, but like, yeah, like a light painting thing, which would then turn on these billboards. Actually reminds me, do I have a script for I'm just wondering if I have a script to do the animation effect on the ads dissolving in and out, because that might be a nice thing to have while I'm doing this first iteration. Yeah, so how would this work? Painting on some sort of light. Maybe this just pool treatment's a bit intense. Yeah, so maybe let's go see what oh wait. Sorry. Saw a message, but not. So hang on, let's go into the Blades Within Discord and let's look at some of the feedback. So I was asking for just some ideas. So hey guys, I want to get some input on something with some of the new systems I'm building. I'm getting to the point where I'm adding the hollow boards back in, the big advertisement screens. Previously, they'd been randomly generated with the tile and probing in front to make sure there's nothing in the way. But I'm considering making them an actual placement tool where you select the size, place them, or you select the size and place them as you see fit. Do you want this kind of control, or would it be tedious? Should I consider a middle ground? Choose placement, but the size type is random, or a tile spawns hollow board ads before you can move them. Sorry, there's some awkward typos in there. That was just a late night thought. I might get booted off the server for this, but what would you think about having real ads there as a source of revenue? I think most people don't mind subtle ads as long as they don't block performance or are really annoying. In essence, YouTube ads. Uninstall apps that have sound playing ads cutting in during usage, but I don't mind politely placed ads. And of course, the developers need some remuneration. Just a thought. I like Mike's idea. Sports games already do this with the ad boards around the court, and it actually enhances the realism. But to answer your question, I like to be able to make changes as I see fit, add them, remove them, adjust size. But they should be automatically generated as a starting point so I don't have to fill up the city all on my own. That said, I still don't have a good grasp on the game loop and the scale. Yeah, a smaller scale means it's less burden to do it on my own. These ideas are awesome. Just adding my thoughts. I would even say mixing real with fake ads / sports ads. But then there are cybernetics and rejuvenation ads mixed into the keep it grounded in the world. Or maybe you find selective companies for ads. Also, I think what Crossover mentioned with the placement makes the most sense to me in terms of gameplay. That might be a very good revenue stream, plus help to keep the cost of the game down maybe. Maybe hard to contact companies though, not before having already a good sales number at least, or maybe not, worth a shot. So, based on those ideas, I had said, hang on, I can't. That's why I'm maybe keep this up in the background a little bit. Yeah, so to that I said, thank you for the suggestions. I'm hoping to do some design work on the hollow ad system today, tomorrow, which I did a little bit. once I finish up the rotation tool, which is now finished. I'd have to investigate the ads route. I definitely considered some fun things with my own API for the billboards, but not yet true paid impression type ads. I'd have to look into some ad network APIs and how restrictive they are, usually more complex than just serving up a PNG. The concept of an ad impression becomes quite muddy too, as an ad could be within the camera but not visible, opposite side of the building. Doable, but how an ad network would see that, I don't know, since it's a unique case, and I wouldn't want to do ad account management and sales myself. It's just not what I want to spend time doing. And sorry, the sun has come out, so my webcam is quite bright. Let's see if we can do something about this. There we go. Something that is likely happening is the demo will support custom billboards. So you just drop some PNGs in the folder, which I'm hoping will make for a compelling pitch in the streamer influencer space during Steam Next Fest. Long term, I'd love to see some creative mods that combine public APIs with generative art systems, pull in the latest from hashtag Bali on Instagram and overlay with the off-world colonies await ad text. It wouldn't affect game pricing too much. I haven't set the pricing yet, but the plan right now is sub $10 USD with regional considerations. So I'll probably do slightly different pricing in places like Brazil. So this was a new one that came in this morning that I haven't yet considered. So my thoughts would be probably having it as a toggleable thing. The game defaults to automatically generating billboards with the option to modify placement size and even the advert itself. Could also be cool if there's more ways for billboards to interact with the environment instead of just being plastered onto buildings. For example, there could be freestanding mega billboards or ones that connect to between two buildings that project over highways and streets. That should be doable. Billboards and the adverts could also be tools for world building and seeing just how the world got to the state it was in. Although I'd understand want to keep it more generic considering the overall style of the game. In that case, there could be different styles of adverts to choose from the corporate sponsored ones, selling $1 trillion cybernetics to government reminders to report your neighbor to the secret police. Yo, Stan, what's up? Crypto King 420. Love it. How you doing? It's crazy late for you. What are you still doing awake? Yeah, this is the chat in Discord. So a few days ago, I had sort of asked like how a billboard placement tool might work, and some people had a handful of ideas. So I was just going through them now because I'm trying to figure out the actual design of this tool, and I'm kind of getting to the point where I have to do some design for this before I proceed. So I was just going over the suggestions. Some definitely some interesting ones from like getting paid sponsors for the game to put ads in, which I don't know. I don't really want to do ad management. I don't want to do ad sales right now. Like I just don't have time for that shit. And I'm sure like public ad APIs probably have like, they don't just serve up PNGs that I put in the game. Like it probably has to be some sort of API wrapper, and it probably has measurement tools for what an impression actually is, which is a bit abstract in a game because it's like, well, I've made an impression by putting the ad on a building, but the building was like in the distance and it's like 2 pixels tall. So I don't know if that's going to work. Surfshark VPN, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like when you're making like a Cyberpunk game, it's kind of a reflection on capitalism already. So it feels weird to it also be like a capitalist vehicle, but at the end of the day, I guess it's going to be sold for money. So I don't know. Yeah, Raid Shadow Legends. Like I would rather put that stuff in to satirize it almost, rather than put an actual paid ad into the game. Anyways, so what I'm kind of hearing is people want some control, but not total control. Because it's control that I'm kind of worried about. It's like when you add control like as a concept, like, hang on, give me an ad. Like suddenly like, oh, they want to move this ad, like ads, I have to like calculate constraints to this a little bit. Like it's not just as simple as like moving the transform around. Like, should it be limited to the edges of the building? Should I be able to like scale it? I don't know. Who's the guy in the ad? I think it's just some random photo from a Creative Commons something somewhere. I probably got it from like Unsplash or whatever that is. Yeah, I mean, I debated doing some of these with AI, but I didn't want to do that for reasons like Steam is very not cool with AI stuff right now, which like rightfully so. Yeah, so okay, let me just look at the comments in here again. My thoughts would be having a toggleable thing. The game defaults to automatically generating billboards, but you have the option to modify placement size and even the advert itself. Don't have to explain why no AI. Yeah. Yeah, like I think it was interesting for concepting. Like, where was the like concepting just as like a project that I'm working on by myself and just wanted to mess around with some ideas. Like they weren't bad. There's actually some cool ideas in this, but they were very clearly like just AI generated, and yeah, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. I'd rather tweak them a little bit. I did kind of like as a random experiment, this kind of like PS1 low poly thing that it came up with, like as an art style. I might come back to that for a future project, but I don't really want to use these. In shader motion as well. Yeah, like right now they're pretty static. Like they have a bit of a pulse going on, like there's a slow like breathing. It's probably more apparent if I crank it. Like, yeah, like they do have a little bit of flicker to them, but not much. Point Cloud Ballerina, yeah. Yeah, and they do these like when you get up close, they separate out into like a screen effect. Yeah, it's a neat little. I'm happy with the shader. It's the super hacky shader under the hood, but it works. Oops, where's the guy? Yeah, image sequences are an option. And like the memory overhead isn't terrible. I mean, I guess it depends what you're bringing in. Like I wouldn't want every one of these billboards to be an instanced video player. That would be a bit much. But like yesterday I was looking at just some like GIF importers just to see if that would be feasible. But we'll see. I might like make it a thing I can do, but it's not like it sort of comes through mod support. That way, like I sort of put in the modders, like it's your problem. Like if it creates performance problems, like that's because you're using a mod. I don't know. I'm not there yet. I'm just trying to figure out how static images are going to work. Probably a lot of MoGraph stuff can be done by just basic scrolling and scaling elements. Yeah, like I could combine like a bunch of these. Like I could create like a stacked like a big ribbon like they do in like Cyberpunk 2077, where it just like is just like a scrolling big ribbon of multiple ads. Actually, I wonder. Oh god, you're sending me off on a on a unnecessary art polish exploration. Like I'm just wondering if it could do like a subtle zoom in and out. Yeah, where's that shader? Marquee, that was the word I was looking for. Where's the image here? Multiply, clamp, where's the UVs? Tiling. Why is that tiling to 1.15? That must be a different thing. What's the actual image UVs? Multiply. Wait, I'm going insane. Where's the... emissive sampling? There it is, the texture sampling. Scale. No, it's not scale. It's tiling and offset. This would... yeah, that would do that. Expose that. So now we need to do some math for like centering and stuff. Ah, now it's okay. I need to pull out of this. If I start messing around with shader stuff, I'll never stop. Glitch effect, yeah. Yeah, glitch effect would be cool. Am I doing a LERP somewhere where I could mix some stuff in? Yeah, I don't know. I'm tempted to just leave this alone for now. I'll get pulled into a shader trap, and it's all I'll mess with. Yeah, getting into shader tech. Yeah, it's been this project's actually been kind of good for that for me, because it's the first one where I've actually done like a bulk of the shaders myself. I mean, to a certain extent. Like obviously I'm plugging it into like pre-made like lighting computations and stuff, but yeah, it's the first project I've really used the Unity shader graph, and the Amplify graph is probably better, but still, I don't know. It's been a nice yeah, it's been a nice exploration of shader stuff in Unity. Okay. Last I used Unity, which is like 6 years ago. Yeah, it's a little different now, for better and for worse. But having some actual like render pipeline and shader tools now is nice. It's nice. Okay, so I think I'm probably going to stick with what I was musing on yesterday, which is a light brush that would basically just turn on the billboards as you like brush over them. That way we can author the billboards around the building. Like, we're not going to randomly generate them. Like, we can place like, oh, there's going to be a big one here, a little one here, so that they fit with the geometry. And it's just the light brush, I think, that'll turn it on. And I guess you can also put it along the ground. Turn on hollow boards, and maybe I'll add a bit of color control. The one I mentioned, yeah, Amplify is, I mean, I didn't find this out until after I was further into this project, but yeah, Amplify shader editor. Is there a good screenshot of this? No, wait. Oh yeah, it's another graph system. Yeah, it's way more polished and refined than the Unity built-in one. Yeah, there was two like third-party ones. There was Amplify, and then there was Shader Forge. Shader Forge is basically open source now, but I think just a lot of the ongoing development's been on Amplify, and the Unity shader graph is okay. I think it's just lacking a lot of like quality of life features that this has from just years of development. Yeah, just there's some nodes that are missing and things like that. So yeah, next project I'd probably go back and check out. I mean, yeah, it's here. So much fun to use, really good UX. Don't bother with shader graph. So I wish I'd started with Amplify, but I don't want to go back and recreate my shaders. Yeah, Amplify is still supported. Like, it's still, yeah, ongoing development. Shader Forge isn't being developed anymore. I mean, actually, I don't know if it got repoed open source, so I don't know if people maintain it. I know Freya Holmer, who made it, doesn't really bother with it anymore. She works on other tools. I think what basically happened is Unity tried to buy Shader Forge from Freya, but the condition was she had to join Unity, and she didn't want to. And I think Unity basically gave her the heads up that they were developing their own. And I think at that point she was like, okay, cool, I'm just going to open source it and move on to new stuff. And the stuff she moved on to was Shapes. Not that, but Shapes Unity, which I use everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. Yeah, this is in Dystopika a whole bunch. Yeah, so this is like all my UI elements are using the systems. I mean, not that one, but like all these like disks and things I'm using for UI. Yeah, let me isolate that. Kyle. Yeah, like this is just a group of her shape stuff, so that I can quickly like iterate this and like, yeah, do all kinds of fun things. Yeah, it basically just gives you lots of procedural flat shapes to work with, so you can quickly yeah, build sort of world space UI elements. So yeah, I use it for all of these tools and things. This one's actually a mesh, so this cube thing. This tool, yeah, even like just this cylinder highlight is a shape. It's a big sphere, actually. So yeah, it's been super useful. I've been using it on basically everything. It's just so much easier than having to go make a mesh for like a disk, a little disk or whatever. And it gives you just nice like blending style or like blending modes and things like that. So yeah, I can do some very visually slick stuff with it, which I like. Yeah, so I think I'm going back to this idea of a brush. I just don't know if I want to implement this right now. Yeah, it is awesome. Like it's one of those things where I kind of get pissed at Unity. It's just like build this shit into it. Like it's so useful. Like so much of the most useful stuff I'm using right now is just asset store. From like my volumetric fog and the shapes and dependency injection on the coding side. The same with Blender. Yeah, but Blender doesn't cost like thousands of dollars a year. I mean, like, the free, I mean, yes and no. It depends how much you've sold. I mean, the product doesn't change if you're in, like, the pro tier because your studio makes money. It's still the same, like, vanilla product. I mean, there's, like, cloud services and stuff, but, yeah. Charge per install, yeah. Okay, so... I'm gonna shut this window because it's fucking hot. Okay, so I want to go back to Figma. Because the other thing I wanted to do is just see if I can clean this up a little bit so it's a bit more relevant to the new tile design. Yeah, like this is the kind of stuff we're thinking about for like mega structures. Like, that's a future problem. This is the initial sort of tile system. But yeah, just the buildings all had to be this. It was too similar in size. Yeah. Yeah. But I think that's a problem for the future. I don't think the player is going to make anything this big on their own. I think it's going to be these narrative events that happen. So I've been trying to think about this, like this, I don't know, like this elevation problem. I need just like a whole new section. Elevations. Tile elevations. Or elevation regression. So there's always like this, shape or something. I feel like I haven't been in FigJam in a billion years. Not a post-it note. I'm just like a shape. Am I going insane? Or, okay, maybe this is actually what I wanted. Alright. So, there's gonna be like a elevation 0, like we talked about. Elevation 0. Elevation 0 is like a foundation tile. Foundation tile. Approximate or not. Roughly the same height. So then I pull this up and yeah. So once I pull this up above elevation 0, which is actually this line, then it might turn into something. And then once I'm past elevation 0, like this progression can be anything we want. Like the jumps can be wherever. So I guess it's just a question of like, what is like what's the question I'm trying to phrase here? No, sorry, it's this, maybe this is just like talking about how I think about it programmatically. It's just like so this is like the ground, which is y equals 0. I just consider, like, when I make a tile, the elevation range mathematically under the hood is like, this is 0, and then there's like a max elevation ceiling here. Like elevation max. So programmatically in my world, this like basically is like 0 to 1. It's like just a normalized value of what the maximum elevation can be. Yeah, sorry, the naming is not ideal, to be honest. I'm not... I try to resist the urge to sit and think about like what the right name for things should be and just do it and maybe refactor it when it occurs to me later. And hang on, my camera got really dark. It's getting cloudy again. There we go. Don't want y'all to see the circles under my eyes. Yeah, whatever works. It's pretty much all I'm good at. Yeah, it's a bunch of like underlying math things that I do. So this, I mean, in my world, like when I see what prefab the player wants, I think about this as like a normalized range of 0 to 1. In world space, this is like 0, this is 1.5, and then this is basically so this is actually calculated from in the configuration, whatever the biggest building is, I take whatever like this top point is, and that becomes like the elevation max. So this can be like anything. This can be 4, this can be 5. So whatever the biggest building in the configuration, that's the max elevation. But yeah, sorry, under the hood, I like there's a 0 to 0.1, which represents 1.5 to this, and I use that to figure out what prefab to spawn. But yeah, what like I think just all of these first time. Oh, hang on, wait. Yeah, elevation 0 means maybe I need to come up with a better design verbiage for elevation 0. It's above minimum like possible height. Okay, so hang on, maybe the interactive version of this will make more sense. Yeah, I think I'm just like using too many of the underlying programming terms that I think about. So when I place a tile, I consider this the elevation number, or like the elevation value for this tile is 0. And I'll just also bring the configuration up as well. So the it's 0, and hang on, how do I want to explain this? Okay, so elevation is 0, When I grab it and start elevating it, okay, now it's above 0. Now it's like 0.1. So from the configuration file, it's like, okay, the elevation value is between 0.01 and 0.5. It's 0.1. So now it's in the range of this section. So it's pulling this prefab. And once I pull it up high enough, so once it gets to elevation, like once it gets past 0.5, it goes to elevation 3. So when I get to a certain point here, it's going to flip to the other one. So the one that has the hollow boards on it is elevation 3. And when it hits the top of elevation 3, because that's the biggest building, then it tops out the elevation. You can't elevate it even further. So it's just, there's a bunch of like different mappings of the number range. Like I normalize it based on how big these colliders are. Okay, yeah, sorry. There's a bunch of different ways I need to think about this elevation number under the hood. Like there's an elevation raw value, which is the actual height of the building. But in order to basically scrub through which prefab it should be, I need to know it in a normalized range. So like I can quickly go in and like go into elevation 3. So this is the biggest. Oh wait, where's my scene view? This is the biggest tile. If I wanted to, I could actually just like scale this super high, or I could make this like super big. Or like let's do something funky here. Let's do like a big thing like that. This may break. But now, because I'm doing a normalized value, like I can, I'm explaining this absolutely terribly. So now if I go up into level 3, it's going to be this big thing, which it kind of breaks the system, but oh, it really breaks the system. Never mind. I don't think it likes scaling, because I think that breaks the collider. Hang on, let me undo that. I don't think scaling is not the right way to do this. I think it's actually, I want to pull up Pro Builder, and I think I actually want to just edit this mesh. Yeah, like naturally I shouldn't be doing any like unnatural scaling of the mesh. It sort of needs the mesh to be just like a uniform one scale for a bunch of reasons, but should be able to do this kind of thing. Okay, so save that, go back in. Yeah, this is just like a gray boxing in-engine tool that I use called Pro Builder, just to quickly create meshes, you know. If I go up to this, the collider's still messed up. Oh, I know why that is. Hang on. Sorry, my workflow is still a little bit messy. For these like in-engine pre-baked, or not pre-baked, pre-made mesh. These in-engine meshes are still a little wonky. Yeah, I just need to update those positions. Yeah, it's a little bit better. I think the collider is still fucky, but kind of regret making those changes now. I'm just gonna revert that. 1 sec. Back to that. Okay, where was I? Talking about these things. Anyways, yeah, so there's a bunch of math going on here. Maybe there's like a better better naming system for it. Like, I could also call these just like base tiles and extended tiles. Or yeah, extended tiles or something to that effect. So I guess the question I'm answering is just like, how unified is the theme of these tiles? Like, when you pull them up, like, how related to the other tiles should your tile be? Like, should this be a unified set of like little apartment building, big apartment building, or can it be more generalized than that? And I think I'm of the mind it would be more generalized now. Like, if I go to like SimCity 3000 zoning. Oh, 1 second, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. We're getting the cat ready for going to the vet. So I'm trying to figure out where I can find some visual references for this. So what I'm thinking about is the way zones work in like SimCity 3000, and maybe the best way to do this is just SimCity 3000. I don't even know what this is gonna look like. Okay. All right. It's a bit rough on the capture side, but okay. Can I get, wait, close this. Can I load a city? Yeah, actually this might be great because then I can go back in the VOD later and get some visual capture. So where is this? Is this Liverpool? Okay, so trying to find an example of what I'm talking about. in browser. No, no, I actually had SimCity 3000 installed. Uh, it's just messing up the capture, the desktop capture, because it's so old. It like its max resolution is like 1280 by 1024. So what I'm kind of talking about is in SimCity, the old school SimCities, like you placed zones as like light commercial, medium commercial, dense commercial. So if I did like a light commercial here, like a medium commercial here, and a dense commercial here. Let me just see what happens. Yeah, like it sort of runs from like little pubs, little like 1, 2, 3 story things. The medium, you kind of get these like ground floor shops, but like some offices. Oh, okay. I see. Did not like that. But like I don't know. Maybe I'll go back to the stream later. I can like pull them out. But yeah, there's sort of like ground floor like shops and like pubs and things. Yes, it crashed. I don't know what happened. I am I'm trying to do a lot of things on one laptop. I'm doing this streaming. I'm doing Unity. I have Rider running. I have like all my design documents open in Figma. I have Discord open with 1 billion servers. Like I'm asking a lot of this poor little laptop. But um yeah, like that idea of like sort of like light zoning has just like shops and like just sort of 3 to 4 story buildings. When you go up to medium, it has like shops, but like 10 story buildings that have like offices on top, and then like high density is like the big towers. And I think that's maybe like kind of what I'm thinking. Like the tiles, it's not like a literal like like it's not the same shops being expanded, but it's kind of just like shops and things like office building and things, and they just have this thematic connection of like being commercial zone. I don't think it needs to literally be like the same building type extended. Like I think there's a little bit of variety as it like, or I don't know, like should it be the same building type? I just feel like trying to make it be the same building type that you like pull out of the ground is it's going to create a lot of work. Whereas I'm okay with it being a bit more like zone, like just it's a commercial zone. These are like low level shops, and then I pulled up, okay, now it's an office building, and then like, okay, now it's like a big skyscraper, like megacorp building. So like little like shops, apartments, etc. Like building or like multi-use office building, and then like megacorp. Megacorp HQ. So you talk about like the mixing of building types with a specific region, not what each building looks like as it gets taller, or both. Uh, I mean, kind of both. Um, so like when I place a tile, well, I know like there's sort of I think the problem why I'm like like confusing or like I'm talking about a lot of overlapping ideas. Like there's stuff I want to do in the future and there's stuff I want to do now. Like in the future, there's like concepts of like different zones, whereas now there's only one zone. So when you place a tile, like it has no type of any kind. It's just a or it's drawing from a random pool. Sorry, I'm doing a terrible job of explaining this right now because I'm still kind of working through the version that I'm wanting to move forward with. Um, think I need some reference. Where's my Blade Runner? So like in the older build, the build height was managed by placing modular vertical sections on top of each other, right? Yes. Yes, it was. It was like this kind of system. Like the toppers, the medium tiles that it's a little different. These had to be able to like tile repeatedly, and then ground tiles. The same building. Yeah, like that's what I'm trying to decide. Like, should it, from the user's perspective, feel like oh, like I like the look of that building and I want it to be bigger, or should it be like, oh, it's a like, how much should the visual like type of the building change when you drag it up? Like, how unified should it be? Should it feel like, okay, I've made a hang on, let me go down here. I placed my first tile, and this is like a I don't know, like a research lab. Like, it very clearly looks like a research lab. Should, as I drag it higher, like, should it be, now it's a big research lab? Like, should it have that kind of continuity? Or should it be, I place a research lab, the research lab belongs to like the industrial set, so that when I drag it up, it might get something out of the industrial set, and now it's like a like military, like military security HQ thing. So in this case, you sort of get different, a visual, potentially different visual building, but it's still within a central theme. So is it like super connected, like research lab, big research lab, really big research lab? Or is it like research lab, military security HQ? I don't know what this other one would be, but like bigger industrial thing. Or like big comms tower. So yeah, is it like a literal, I'm dragging and making that specific building type bigger? Or is it just a thematic thing of like the zone or whatever? My instinct is definitely the first thing. Visual continuity along height until it hits the threshold for the new type. Oh, hang on. Hang on, what? We need to get the cat out of the plant. One sec. Sorry. Sorry about that. We are taking. We have to take our cat to the vet, and we don't have like a full like carrier, so she's going into the bubble backpack, and it's a bit of work to get her in there. Okay, so yeah, inclination, same building gets bigger, but within a certain bracket. So like it's only reasonable for apartment blocks to be a certain height, otherwise it gets dumb. No, nothing serious, just like a regular checkup and shots and all those things. Hang on, we got one more thing to do. One sec. Okay, we're actually sorted now. Okay, let me go back to this. Okay, so yeah, I guess so like it's only reasonable for apartment blocks to be a certain height, otherwise it gets dumb. Nice. Oh yeah, nothing serious. Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is that my intrinsic or my instinct would be that it would feel more satisfying to have a sense of continuity as you raise the building elevation rather than a fully new model spawning in for each increment. Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think the only reason I was considering the like sort of industrial set version is like it'd be like you could put more content in faster. Like you know, like in this model it's like you have to build 3 research lab variants, right? Whereas like this is just a pool of everything. So I don't know, or then you'd have to have more variants. I don't know. You know what? I think let's go with this option. Like start with yeah, we'll say like I can maybe just give you some themes like a research lab and some reference for that at different scales. Like, one of the nice things with the setup right now is the elevation will always max out. It's not like a number that I have to plug in. It's just the number is whatever the highest elevation is. So, I'm sorry, whatever the biggest model is. So some buildings, like, it could max out here. It could max out or here. It can max out here. It's just, it's not a big burden to like reconfigure these tiles. It's okay if different tiles end at different points. And I think that actually will feel better for the player because they'll have an understanding of why that's happening. Like, it's just, oh, that's the biggest that building type gets, rather than yeah, it just randomly picks a big building at the top and suddenly like you don't understand why some things can go taller than others. Mouse scroll to cycle type. Maybe. Maybe. Interesting. Oh yeah, like there's a little like little helipad that I was testing yesterday, and it spawns these little particles that launch from it. Yeah, I mean, it's just a particle. There's no like 3D model behind it. Like, the illusion starts to shatter when you get up close, but yeah, it works. It works. There's actually like a roof variant as well, so I think that's like elevation 2. So I can go and maybe just move some of these guys around. Where is the helipad? Actually, let's just unpack this. These. I think if I hook this up to here. Minimum elevation one. Sure, let's just. Good. Oh, it might depend on, it may not always spawn, but yeah, there it is. Yeah, and it's also got the particles, yeah. Oh, except I need to change this one. It doesn't look great when, hang on. Right now it's doing the particle simulation in world space, which means if you're adjusting it, it gets left behind. Files. Let's change this to local. Yeah, it gets the point across. I feel like that's like a running theme with all my art so far. Is just like, like it works. Like, the aesthetic is just like 90% fog, right? Or where is it? Yeah, I think, yeah, now it moves. Oh wait, it's still. Was there 2 particle systems there? I just didn't realize it. Yeah, there was 2 of them. Yeah, so I think maybe that's what I will do from like a design standpoint. I mean, if you want to just go ham on it for now with whatever sort of you're thinking about, but I could say like, okay, research lab, this, and here's some reference for it, and police station, here's some reference for it. I could do those kinds of things. In terms of like cycling the type, I don't know. I feel, why is my toolbar not coming back. There it is. Of course, now it doesn't spawn for me at all. There it goes. Yeah, and that should move up and down with the building. Cool. I've also got smokestacks, I think. Smoke. Actually, I could probably go back to these and that. Where did these go? They exist. Where? It's where they exist. Oh, wait a minute. I think I might actually put them on the... No? Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. So I should be able to go to files. It's 2, 3. These probably also need to be moved to local. Or actually, world might be fine on this one. This one might need a bit more realism. Let's see what that works. If that looks good. No, I think they have to be local space too. I'm just getting sucked into like an art black hole here. And why is my toolbar, the game toolbar, not spawning in all the time now? It's strange. Anyways, yeah, smoking things. Yeah, so getting back to the question in the hand, I guess, is it needs some I need to look up some reference for these things. It's so nice though under the new system, like it doesn't have to be like there's a lot more architectural freedom. Like in this system before, like you really had to like wide bottom, narrow top to make it look architecturally sound. Now it's like it doesn't matter, it can just be a whole architecturally sound thing on its own. It doesn't need to think about how it combines with other tiles, which is cool. I like the new system much more. And I don't need to think about like gaps in the I don't need to think about like gaps in the tiles, right? Because like if I place a tile and because you can attach tiles like horizontally to other tiles, so I could build up a building 1, 2, 3, and then I could put a base tile next to it, but I can then attach to like another top tile to the top one of the other one, so there'd be like a gap in the middle and I'd have to like figure out support structures in there. Otherwise it's just building pieces hanging in space. I'm really excited about not having to do that anymore. Like it's just gonna be much easier to make the game visually cohesive, which is awesome. Yeah, like there's actually I could probably just bring up uh dystopika. Oh no, it thinks I'm playing dystopika right now. Never mind. I can't do that. Yeah, there was like this thing, right? Yeah, this was basically yeah, anytime you put a tile, like because of the way you can attach tiles horizontally, like you could put a building tile on like horizontally to something else, but there'd be nothing beneath it. So it always did like a probe below, just like, is there a tile below me? If not, spawn this support structure just to connect it, and like keep repeating it until you hit something. Just so it always like, otherwise it's just like this weird chunk of building floating horizontally in space. And like it was stuff like that that made me think that the tile system was kind of falling apart a bit. Like it was just weird cases where like you'd have like again just from like a horizontal view, like tile tile tile, but then the tile system allows you to like, oh, I want to add a tile to the side of like this one, and then you have these weird structures that make no sense. Like what? Oh, no audio. What about now? Is this back? Am I back? It might have just been the noise suppression. I got too far away from the mic. But yeah, like in the tile system, you get situations like this where you could put a tile, and then you just have these weird like building pieces floating in nowhere. Even if they're like attached with a bridge or something, still just doesn't look right. So I had to do these like other like lattice structures to connect it to the ground, basically, to make it look feasible. But it still didn't look right. The tile system just didn't make sense anymore. So yeah, the new one's funny because you can't have those elevation, like you can't have those holes anymore in the architecture. Like you're just building like one building. It's like a terrain. Like you're just pulling terrains out, or you're just modifying a big terrain. Is the audio back now? Oh, hang on. One second. I just noticed that my stream also had a hiccup. One second. I'm actually muting the mic. Is it still missing audio? Okay, hang on.